All right, welcome back to ChiroVlog number 4. I'm just gonna hop right into it. I got on my first coaching call last week, which was really cool. I'm not sure if we talked about that or not, but it's essentially just to reiterate, I went over just what I need to do as far as moving forward, the steps I need to take, social media, like systems and procedures in the office. It's just a lot of making sure that I'm in the right direction. I did talk about it, but I've been working on that this week. Been about to go after this, write down my ideal client, and then kind of start getting in the right direction of that system and procedures written out so that I have something to present to him next week. But this past weekend we went to Focus OKC. Shout out Tim Young. He does a fantastic job. To have Principled Chiropractic conference. A lot of great speakers. One of my buddies, Corb Canifax, spoke, and then Dr. Darian Johnson, he also spoke. Both are brothers in the fraternity. Did a phenomenal job. But yeah, it was just a great weekend. It was Friday, Saturday. It was nice to getting back and just getting fired up for chiropractic again. It was a great experience. We had to leave early. Our dog didn't have a place to stay after we had to check out of the Airbnb, so I just walked in and listened to Corb speak, and then I left afterwards. But still got a lot out of the weekend. Fantastic event, conference. It was just great. There were some vendors there, and one of them was a website vendor, so website designer. So that was one of the things on my checklist for opening up that I needed to get done. So we're able to get that figured out. Had the call today actually and locked that in. She showed me kind of like the whole back end of the website, what she does and how much it costs, and kind of what I'm looking to expect, like being able to see, like when people go to the website, you get all their information from that, and then also like you embed different, a calendar in there, or like maybe a link to something else, or like a phone number, stuff like that. So we're gonna get that figured out, and then eventually, I think either tomorrow or the next day, pay for the service once my bank gets all figured out, which is a whole other thing. I went with a local bank. Just a little side note, I went with a local bank here out in Belleville, and the card went to Savannah's dad's office because that's my temporary address right now. So since it went there, I have to figure out how to get down there to get the cards to be able to use it. So I've been trying to swap between different accounts. Like I made a Chase business account, and I'm trying to put it into there, but then I had to verify it, and it was just it was a lot of hoops to jump through. But I mean, these are good problems to have, I suppose. Like, better to have the access to the money and have these problems than not access to any money. So I'm very thankful for these problems. But once the funds are transferred over, I can start that process, get the payment plan going, or just pay up front, and then kind of show her what my vision is, how I want it, and then also send her my logo and just the color scheme and all that. So that'll be really good. That'll be if you're ever looking to create a website or have someone create a website for you, that's a great avenue. We also ran into a X-ray called the company was, I think it's BMI or BIM, but they do DDR, which is dynamic digital radiology. And it's like an X-ray, but it takes it about 20 X-rays in one, and it's a moving X-ray. So you could show your patients like a flexion extension view, but it's moving. So it shows all the facets moving. It shows like whether there's slippage in the ligament and stuff like that. So that was really, really cool. Probably really expensive, but what I was really looking for is they have a system or a setup where it's just a single beam on the wall, and the patient stands in between it, and you can shift it up and down like that, rather than having it all across the wall and then having to like shift it down and back like the conventional like x-rays of the past. So having it in that one single beam and then having it just spread apart like that would be really, really helpful to one, just accessibility in a room. It would open up a lot of free room in one of the rooms in my build out, and allow for me to actually have like in a review of findings room, which would be awesome. So I need to set up a call. That was on my to-do list. I forgot to do that, but I need to set up a call with them or just get a quote. It's probably going to be upwards of 50 to 100,000, but maybe hopefully we'll get some financing or like a payment plan or something like that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It brings me to CLA. I'm pretty sure I told you guys I had a call with them, kind of talked about what to expect from a CLA scan, insight scan, which is just, it does electromyography, which is just upregulation of the like hypertensity of the muscles, thermography, which is just increased thermal scan, like increased thermal areas of your back, which can show areas of subluxation, and then also heart rate variability. So just the way your body adapts to stress. It shows in kind of like a U. It's like a square, and then it has like U's on it with like green, yellow, orange, red. But I need to schedule a call with them since I've got my funding finally, set up a payment plan there. I want to do both CLA and X-ray. CLA because helps communicate like, hey, chiropractic also is good for the nervous, helps regulate your nervous system, while X-ray is like, hey, this is the structure, this is what is protecting the nervous system, this is how your bones move, this is what we're going to be adjusting, and this is how it's affected in this way. So just having the both of those things are really, I think, would be beneficial. I could probably do it with just the CLA or just the X-ray, but I mean, also with the CLA, like I'm able to use it on pregnant women, and that would be really, really beneficial instead of just not having any objective measure. I could use the CLA scan, see how their body is reacting, their nervous system is reacting to having the child, having the being pregnant, and yeah, just use that. And then there's a whole other different things that are beneficial, but I need to get that scheduled because they do instead of like a finance, they do like a 12 pay where you just pay a year and there's no interest on it, which is really nice. At Focus OKC, I also ran into a like a payment scheduler, not a payment scheduler, a payment processing people. It's called Fortis, Fortis. It's essentially just like how you collect your payments. Like you have the little tap to pay or the text to pay, or click here and it redirects you to a thing. So they were there, and I ended up winning one of their raffles, which was super cool. So it's not the only reason, not even the reason why I went with them, but I talked to them, wanted to schedule that so I could get the payments through, so I can, text them and then click a link and then they can pay, like my patients, or have the little like tap to pay or insert to pay, that stuff. But I just so happened to win the raffle, which was super awesome. But that I didn't even think, like, normally it's like, okay, like I think Chiro HD, which is the EHR that I'm going with, they probably have like a payment processor, but I think having that external payment where you can text them, or they can swipe, they can tap, they can insert, they can go on your website, like all that, I think that is really beneficial to have. Just accessibility to ease of access, accessibility to payment, which in turn allows for ease of access, because the easier it is to pay, the more you're going to get payments, because the harder it is, it's going to be a hassle for everybody. And then if it's easier, then the patient's gonna be happier to pay. So did that. And then speaking of Chiro HD, I have I have my first consultation with them next week. Gonna call them and then start getting that set up. Hopefully by then my lease will be figured out, and actually approved, and then we can get that signed off so I can start getting some tables and getting some desks in there. So yeah, I'm hoping that comes in the next week or so. I mean, at least just like, you know, sent back and say like, hey, like, no, we need to do this. So I'm still waiting on that. That was last week that they got that sent off like Thursday, Friday. So I need to be patient. Yeah, I talked about, you know, the loan being at the local thing and then coming back. I talked to a CPA. That was really, really helpful. Again, Savannah's dad has a CPA that he goes through, and he was very helpful. I was like, dude, like, I want to set up, like, I need you to be my normal CPA. Like, how do we set that payment up? And he was just super helpful without even like asking for anything. So that was awesome. Helped me get an idea of the business loans and like what I can do, what I can't do, and that stuff. But yeah, it was a pretty eventful weekend, pretty eventful week. This coming week is the last week of my internship. So Thursday is the last day that I'm in CBI, or my community-based internship, or preceptorship. And tomorrow we're going to lunch with the entire team. And then Thursday night, we're going to have dinner with everybody, just as like a final send off. And then we're done. It's again, a bittersweet, you know, I'm going to miss everybody, miss the patients that I've helped there. But also it's like really, really, really grateful for this next chapter of life that's going to be happening here in a couple weeks, a couple months. You know, I graduate not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And I mean, it's all came to this, you know, like everything, just the entire 3.5 years. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and it's just, I'm just so grateful, so thankful for everything. But yeah, it's a lot to take in. But yeah, I guess the main thing that the main word that's coming to my mind is like, I'm thankful. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. But that's pretty much it for me. It was a great weekend this past weekend. Looking forward to this upcoming weekend, and obviously next weekend because of graduation. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I'll be back again next Tuesday with the updates from this past weekend and a little more if there's anything else that comes to mind. So all right, I'll see you guys later.